You are not allowed in this courthouse anymore. Do you understand? No. Do you understand? So do not come back into the courthouse. That means this courthouse. That means the courthouse next door, that is the historical courthouse. Do you understand?
Welcome to What Had Happened Was.
Where we take a peek into actual court cases and give you commentary based on our unique perspective and experiences, and also give you informational tips and tricks to help you avoid a what had happened situation.
Before we get started, give us a thumbs up, a tasteful comment, subscribe to the channel to be notified of every video as they come out.
Is that you are outside speaking with members of the jury? Is that correct? That's either yes or no. No, no, no. You were outside speaking to the jurors, yes or no? Nope. Were you outside speaking to the jurors, yes or no?
So he was outside. He got caught by someone and they reported it to the judge outside talking to the jury. You're not even supposed to say hello. Once you get in the courtroom, if you are part of the jury panel or whatever, when the jury is sitting in the chair, then you can say good morning or whatever. But other than that, you're not supposed to speak to anybody. This is why when you go to court, you shouldn't even speak to anybody in the bathroom. Nothing. If you don't know this person, you didn't come with them, don't talk to them.
And this is considered jury tampering, just talking to the jury alone.
Yeah, it's a difference between getting arrested.
This is what's going to end up. All right. And what division? All right. Do you have documentation for that?
You see, right away, they put the cuffs on him. And now he's saying, I work for the United States. Well, which state, what department, under what letter, what jurisdiction, what do you work for? He's not even, he said, I work for the United States. Well, anybody, people that work at the supermarket work at the United States, like anyone, unless you work in a different country.
Yeah, you have to have a documentation on the back of what you're saying. Otherwise, and then what it is, you can be charged either criminal impersonation or definitely misrepresentation.
And here's the thing. People, if you are an officer of the court or you're a lawyer or something like it, you go into a different part of the courthouse, pretty much. You go into a different part of the courthouse. You show your ID and you go to a different part of the courthouse. They separate you.
And ahead of everybody also.
And you go ahead of everybody because you might have a case that's being seen right away. So I'm not saying you don't get searched. I'm saying you go to a different section. You let them know when you go into the door, hey, I'm a lawyer, whatever, right, court officer, I'm here for training, whatever you're there for, you identify yourself from the minute you walk in the door and you tell them I'm here for this, and they tell you, okay, well, you go here.
And they have no problem giving express service because either you express service because you say you are, or express service because you lied to us and now we're giving you express service.
Right, so you can either go upstairs
or downstairs
to the courthouse or downstairs to the holding cell.
And especially now after the incident that just happened in another courthouse where the judge got attacked. They're not playing game. If this guy's in cuffs immediately.
Oh, what is your name? Spell that. First name? And last name? Yes. Spell it. And where's your documentation that show you work for the federal government?
Now, when you ask to produce your identification, anyone worth the salt that is actually a government or office of the court will be quick to say, hey, here's my ID. And even being handcuffed like he is, you say, it's right here inside my pocket right here. You know, you can either handcuff me or have the officer reach inside right here and pull my papers out.
Well, he's looking like he want to go home and go, like he left it in his pants. He's not sure what he wants to say, which means that he's not anything. Because even if he just says, well, I have my driver's license saying who I am or whatever, like, He's acting like he don't have anything. He just walked in with a smile and a briefcase.
All right. So you are not allowed to be in this courthouse anymore. You do not have any business here. If you are not a witness, you are not allowed in this courtroom. Do you understand? And you're not allowed in this courthouse.
He can't even bring a Uber Eats package in here. He can't even make a food delivery into the courthouse. He can't even come. It means she said you can't do anything yet. Means you can't even go next door. If you whatever.
If you drive
you're
by,
not
don't
here,
even look at the
if you're
building.
not
Just
here
keep on
to
going.
be a witness, like you got a subpoena saying you supposed to be here.
Yeah, for the express service, that other express service, don't even look over here.
You know that you are not supposed to be speaking with the jurors in the hallway. You were. Those jurors were not asking you any questions. You took it upon yourself to tamper with the jury that is coming up here for jury selection.
So now she's confirmed that he actually spoke to someone. It's not like someone asked him a question. Hey, is that bathroom? Is that the bathroom over there?
Right.
You know, like a general question or whatever. That he had an actual conversation and interacted with someone. So
jury tampering is anywhere from a class A misdemeanor to a class B felony, depending on what the circumstances.
And what was said and what was done to them, because someone could have said that he could have whispered in it. Somebody could even say that, hey, this guy said, hey, you better not go in there, and that right there.
He threatened me, which takes it up another notch on the degrees, and now we're at felony degree jury tampering by just threatening. The talking is a misdemeanor. Threatening, you've gone into felony territory.
You are not allowed in this courthouse anymore. Do you understand? No. Do you understand? So do not come back into the courthouse. That means this courthouse. That means the courthouse next door, that is the historical courthouse. Do you understand? Right. All right. If you can see that he's escorted off the premises. Oh, God bless you too. So I will speak to all of the defense attorneys when you all come back. But personally, I don't feel comfortable with using this jury as the jury pool because I don't know what was said. My understanding is that he is involved in a case here, not as a witness, not as a party whatsoever, but just as maybe a friend of a friend of a friend of a cousin.
Once I met this guy who knew 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 this guy's cousin.
Hello? Yeah. But they're going to bring, if you have an inmate, we will bring them up and we'll do your pleas. All right. All right. And also because, yeah. And also because I've been a defense attorney before and a prosecutor, the remaining jurors that are left are going to be jurors that have already probably been reviewed, and those that are not was selected were sent back to the basement, be called back up. So I'll speak with the defense attorneys about that and the prosecutors about that as far as whether you all want to do jury selection today or do jury selection tomorrow with a new jury. Okay. So if y'all can discuss that. Oh, Daniel and Hank, I don't think y'all were here. The person who says that he's a state representative or something with the US government was speaking to the potential jurors.
Oh,
So if nobody has any objections, I'm going to release those jurors.
okay, sure, Judge. I think that's,
Evaluation here. So if you would like to be present, you can.
Okay, I'm usually not present, but I appreciate the heads up.
Sure.
And I will keep tabs on.
All right. And the other issue, you were not present, but you were number one for jury trial. However, the person who was here in the gray suit who said that he was with the US government, He was-
Mr. Ma'am.
yeah, he was speaking to the jurors in the hallway. So I don't feel comfortable with using the jury panel that we have.
And Judge, I'm not quite sure how to handle him. I did talk to Daniel about him, and I did make a call before the holidays to the jail. He has been filing all sorts of stuff in this case. I don't know what his relationship is with his family. I don't talk to them. I've never spoken to him. He has communicated with me threats that he's going to sue me in federal court and all.
So now it gets a little deeper. Not only have we found out that he was talking to somebody in the hallway, now we find out he's been filing paperwork under the lawyer's name and then flipping it and calling the lawyer, that same lawyer that he's supposedly been filing paperwork on, he's been flipping it and calling her and telling her he's gonna sue. So
And this is the prosecutor. This is the state.
this is the state. So I don't know if he's he was trying to get that case thrown out or whatever. You know, he was trying to get.
He wanted a mistrial.
He wanted a mistrial because that's a good. I don't know.
That's definitely the strategy for the mistrial, interfering with the court proceedings. This is another charge, obstructing governmental administration. That's exactly what he's
So
doing.
whoever he was trying to help, he might wind up sitting right next to them.
All kinds of stuff like that. But the thing that troubles me the most, and I called the jail to let them know, is that he evidently had an attorney visit on the video visit, not a recorded visit, an attorney visit with this guy,
Okay.
with my client. Now, I tried to find out if they had a record of that or how it happened. My client doesn't know.
Well, what I've done is
And now we're gonna find out some more information about this person.
I've asked that he not be allowed back in the courthouse.
So she didn't detain him immediately. And this is what we were talking about. The prosecutor came after they already kind of let him go. And then she's kind of like saying, oh, by the way, Judge, she might have been in another courtroom or she might have got there late or whatever. We don't know. But she came in after all of this took place.
Right.
Because she could have said, hey, hold that guy because he's been doing this, that, and the third. And now she's telling the judge all these things, which are now being entered into the record. Remember, while the judge is speaking, all these things are being typed into the record.
And
So-
the fact that the judge didn't believe that was his
Name to begin with.
she could have
She could have just sat there and said, hold him,
because that's what a cop
hold
would have
him,
done. But
and
she's
process
not a
him
cop.
until we figure out who he is or
So
whatever.
give
She could have
as
had him.
much mercy.
She could have had him detained and had him processed through or whatever, and then his everything he had going on would have popped up for him.
Right, and that the judge showed extreme patience and mercy on that guy and letting him go to do walk out rather than be bothered with it.
And the deputy took a photo of him. So somebody can let the sheriff know that he's not to have attorney visits if he's not his attorney.
If it's who I'm thinking of, he's also right now a person who is on bond for an aggravated assault. So somebody might want to talk to pretrial services or his bond.
All right. So somebody may want to talk to his pretrial services officer. And honestly, the name that he gave me, I don't even believe that's his real name because he seemed to be stumbling over what his name was. But the deputies did take a photo of him. So I'm sure that's going to be placed at the courthouses and they can place it at the jail as well.
on the Bear County website pretty easy with the name he's been filing things under.
Okay.
And he's filed stuff in my.
And what name did he give?
It's a.
Is it Henry?
Henry,
Okay.
whatever that name is, that's his name.
All right. So before you leave here today, we'll take up that matter with the sheriff's office.
All right. Now,
And then-
I'd be happy to get something done on it because I believe he's holding himself out as an attorney to people, which carries its own set of problems.
All right. We will take care of that. So
So now we have another layer peeled back of this onion, this person that is this man of mystery. So now we also find out he's out on bond.
Yeah, not only that, we have a couple more things added because now he's also impersonating. If he's not a lawyer, he's impersonating a lawyer, which is another criminal charge. And again, along with the jury tampering and the fact that he said they're causing problems at the jail and he's misrepresenting himself, that these are all in themselves. The judge had a lot of mercy on him. She don't think he's saying the name. When you give another name, if you give a false name, that's not your name, that is criminal
Or a name that you are
impersonation.
also known by.
It's criminal impersonation. That name gets added into your folder when you get arrested, and that's now another AKA for you. That's where the AKAs come from. People giving these false names, they think they're getting
That's
over.
what the initials AKA with this thing
Yep.
means. It means also known as.
And you're not helping nobody. You're definitely not helping yourself.
So you got people that, that you may know somebody's street name, you never knew their real name. And you got people that went to school with them and they know their actual, like what they call their government name.
Right. That's not a criminal impersonation. But when you give someone a different identity,
You give somebody a whole different name.
and it's not yours, that's another charge when they catch up to you.
the people who are up for jury trial, is there any objections to the court excusing the jury? We would start with jury selection tomorrow. Is anyone going to have any objection to that?
I'm here, please.
Yes, I know you're on a plea. All right. So what I'll do is I'll excuse this jury panel. And because usually what ends up happening, if you don't hold your jurors for the morning selection, you will end up with people who have already been through jury selection 3 or 4 times. And I don't want anybody to be put at a disadvantage because of that.
Here's another little piece of information. So you can file paperwork. This person could be going to the law library, and you do have people that do have some legal expertise, whatever. They don't necessarily have to have a law degree. He could have been a paralegal. He could have been other things. He could have even been a lawyer in a different country or different place or whatever, and he doesn't have the right to practice law in the state, in that state.
The law does allow you to be your own lawyer. That's under the constitutional rights.
So, but he cannot say he's unless he has absolute proof to back what he's saying. So he could have been filing paperwork or whatever. Like, I don't know all the details of that, but he could have been filing paperwork on his own behalf. He could have been doing other things, and that's not illegal for him to do. It's illegal for him to say he's a lawyer and he's not.
Yeah, and it's legal to come in to an institution claiming to be a lawyer. That's another charge, because you committing a crime going into a correctional facility. That's a crime in itself, and he's claiming to be a lawyer. So that
because the same way, if he said he was a lawyer, he could have went downstairs and spoke. He could have been talking to people, quote unquote, getting clients,
right?
And he doesn't have the right to practice.
Yeah, he could have did that.
Okay. Thanks for watching.
And also give us a thumbs up, like, comment, share. Subscribe to the channel, and you'll be notified of every video as they come up. And get that algorithm going and help us build this channel in 2024.
And make sure that you don't wind up in a what had happened situation.